Start tripping. I know, right? It's like, so, shut up. Start tripping. You know, get to work, dude. All right. Where are we at now? We are at Genesis 21. All right. May we invite humbly and welcome the Holy Spirit in here to let us know how the cow ate the cabbage. Tell us what time it is. Good Lord. What is going on with these verses? And we excited, with excitement await, for you to illuminate, the scriptures and tell us what's going on.
Yes, Lord.
All right. Okay, so we got 21. We're going to be talking about the birth of Isaac. And I just want to remind y'all, before I start, we say, dang, it's okay, another reminder. Just start reading. Listen, this is important. Because even though there's, it's like I'm giving my, I'm sharing with y'all my observations, what I feel like has been, revealed to us during our study. One thing I want to, that I want y'all to take note of is that you're not going to hear my opinions without hearing the word of God first. So that's one thing. It's like, we don't, pick out sermons to do about what's going on. It's like, because the Bible is always relevant. So it's like, you don't have to pick out things. You can just read straight through it. It's going to apply to something. And, but the bottom line is regardless of whether because I could be dead wrong. I can be totally wrong about what I'm talking about. But the thing is that you're going to hear the word of God, which is the truth. And, so, we're going to hear it verse by verse. And that's the main thing. We're building, the perspectives that we have, we're building on a right foundation. It's one, because when you build on a right foundation, that's where, as humans, we're going to make mistakes, but at least we have a right foundation to make corrections on.
Correct.
As opposed to, a bone that gets broken and you're trying to set it on a wrong foundation. If we say something wrong, at least it's on a right foundation to fix it.
Yes.
Right. So we want to make sure that we're in there. And
that foundation being the Bible.
Yes. The Bible, that is our right foundation. It is, the straight up truth. So,
yes.
That's what you want to build on. If you're going to make a mistake, at least, you're on level ground to do it on and fix it. Okay. So,
it's a good way to put it, honey.
Word. Let me see. 21. Then Adonai visited Sarah just as he had said. And Adonai did for Sarah just as he had spoken. Now notice once again, it's like we get into these kind of redundant statements. It says something and it backs it up just in case you didn't get it. Because something, just like we were saying that last time, it's like, gee, God, we wish, couldn't you just speak more clearly so we can understand this so we don't have to keep reading it over and over again? And God's like, okay, you don't want to read it over and over again? Well, I'll say something over and over again. That's in case you missed it first time. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay? So Adonai did for Sarah just as he had spoken. So Sarah became pregnant and gave birth to a son for Abraham in his old age at the appointed time that God had told him. Abraham named his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore for him. It's just like the Bible wants you to know that. Don't get it twisted. I'm talking about Abraham. I'm talking about Sarah. This was between them. It wasn't between anybody else. There's no deviation in the line. So just so you know exactly who I'm talking about. So, it's like in those times where you're like wondering, it's like, I wish the Bible would speak more clearly. God's like, okay, here you go. Let's see. Then Abraham circumcised Isaac, his 8-day-old son, just as God had commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when Isaac, his son, was born to him. All right, so Abraham, he had that, he had his own brand of like human growth hormone. It was called the Abrahammer. And, so he could, he was still a virile old man. He was 100 years old. He's like, come here, girl. Let's go make ourselves a youngin'. All right. I'd love to do a parody of that. It's like, hey, man, how do you stay in such great shape? I know that you got to be in your 50s or something like that. What's your secret? I tell you what, man, I take the Abrahammer. It's like human growth hormone. Anyway, what's that? What's the HGH? Yeah. The Abrahammer HGH. Okay. Let's see. And so we're at 6 now. So Sarah said, God has made laughter for me. Everyone who hears will laugh with me. She also said, who would have said to Abraham, Sarah has nursed children. for I have given birth to a son in his old age. So, as we know, Isaac's name means laughter. And this comes out, really quick, shortening up the story. The idea of Abraham having a child in his advanced age, which, like I said, it's a weird thing for him to have doubts about that, or for Sarah to even laugh about that, because Abraham's dad was like 107.
Yeah.
His dad was older in age. So why would it be so strange for Abraham? And why would Sarah laugh at that? Even considering herself, she's thinking, well, I've been barren, and not only that, I'm past, menopause. So the idea of me having a kid, it just seems laughable. It's like, and God took that as, you laughing at me. I've just spoken truth to you, and I am God, by the way, and you're laughing. God's like, I don't see what's funny about that.
Yeah, I remember she tried to deny that she laughed, and God said, you laughed.
Yeah, she tried to say, yeah, you did. And God's like, and I want you to remember that, and I want you to name your kid.
Yeah.
You're going to name your kid Isaac.
Chapter 17 in Genesis, where God says, name it Isaac.
All right. So let's bear that in mind. Isaac means laughter, and it's going to be like a reminder to them that, hey, your faith was lacking, and I want you to remember that. I want you to remember to not lack in your faith. Okay? So let's see. Sarah nursed children, for I have given birth to a son in his old age. Ishmael, banished, yet delivered. The child grew and was weaned. Abraham made a big old feast on the day Isaac was weaned. But Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, making fun. So she went to Abraham, drive out the female slave and her son, for the son of this female slave will not be an heir with my son Isaac. So, we wonder now. I think Ishmael is probably about he's like 16. He's like 13 or 16 years old now.
Yeah.
So he's a young man, and I guess he's kind of a bully. I don't know what's going on with Ishmael. Ishmael, he's got issues. And it's like you're bullying this probably 2-year-old kid. You're laughing at him, and it's like, what's the deal? Why are you laughing at this kid so much? And why is Sarah so offended by this? I mean, she really takes issue about this. But I think the reason, is there's speculation about why Ishmael was laughing and stuff like that, or teasing, mocking this kid. And I just think it's as simple as this. That's what Isaac's name means. So, I mean, now, one of the things I take with it is like, well, he's 2 years old. He's just probably been, mocking this kid for like 2 years, and maybe it just came to a head. It's like, your name is laughter. It's like, what? Why are you mad at me? I'm just saying his name. So when I say, stop laughing at my kid, I'm not laughing at him. I'm saying his name. So I don't know. Maybe that's the deal. And maybe what it was is that Sarah, I guess maybe it reminded her, of her lack of faith. It could have been that. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure jealousy did play a factor in it. And, she was just fed up. It's like, and Abraham, you're just letting, this son, of yours, which was supposed to be, Sarah was supposed to adopt Ishmael.
Yeah.
She was supposed to adopt him, have a child for me.
Yeah, that was the point.
But she rejects this child. So, of course, and just once again, a reminder, when people try to say, the Bible supports polygamy, no, it doesn't. It's followed by problems.
Yeah.
It's not something that God gave a thumbs up to. It's like, you guys are going to do that. I'm just going to assure you it's going to result in problems. So at any rate, Ishmael is, part of the reason why he's laughing is because, he's either just, saying, hey, I'm just saying your name. And they probably took offense to it. And he probably was trying to be a little, punk, saying his name that way. And, obviously he's a bully. And we see, nowadays, with the religion that has come out of the Arabs, Islam, bullying, Israel.
Absolutely.
So, they bully Israel. and then turn around and act like they're the ones who are the victims. You know, when you got your Palestinians and stuff like that, and acting like, you know, somehow Israel is these big bullies, you know, little bitty Israel surrounded by all these Muslims, but somehow Israel is the bully.
That's a good point.
You know? Okay, so drive out this female. Let's back up to 9. But when Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, making fun, so she said to Abraham, drive out this female slave and her son, for the son of this female slave will not be an heir with my son Isaac. Okay. Now the matter was very displeasing in Abraham's eyes on account of his son. But God said to Abraham, hey, just let her have her say it, man. You know, just say you're sorry. That's what a man is supposed to do. Just, you know, you're right, honey. No. So let's see. Listen to her voice. Just listen to her voice, man. For through Isaac shall your seed be called. Okay, so we're gonna have, coming down the line of Isaac, we're gonna have you're gonna have the Hebrews. They're gonna be called up out of Egypt.
Yeah.
And then you can have the Messiah himself. He's going to be called out of Egypt. So the seed, you know, that's going to descend through our dude Abraham here. Okay? So your seed will be called. Yet I will also make the son. Now also, by the way, now I think Abraham has learned his lesson. That's why his name is Abraham now. He's learned his lesson. It's like, look, if God tells you that this is going to happen, then come what may, you don't have to be afraid of nothing until this happens. And it took Abraham a long time to learn this. It took him a long time to have that faith in God. It took him like letting his wife sleep with a lot of men for him to get it. It's like, dude, you can trust in the Lord. You don't have to, you know, it's like God's got a calling for you. You don't have to worry about these people killing you because of Sarai. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to let her sleep around with different men and say that it's your sister so they won't kill you. Took Abraham cost him a lot to learn this.
Yeah. Now
his name's Abraham, and I think it's because he kind of gets it that when God tells you something, I don't think you need to worry about it being taken away from you, you know, by death or something like that. God didn't tell you so it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So he's getting that right now. Hey, Kool-Aid, are you saying amen? Am I getting an amen from you, buddy? That's my cat back there. Amen. Hallelujah. All right. So let's see. Where were we at? Let's take it to 13. Yet I will make the son of the slave woman into a nation because he is your seed. Amen. All right. So Abraham got up early in the morning and took bread and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar, putting them on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And this is interesting, you know, because, you know, I mean, in Jewish, and I reckon, you know, Jewish tradition hasn't really taken a hold yet. But it's like Ishmael is like, well, he's like 13, 16 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's still being referred to as a child. Like, he's just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe emotionally he's still a kid. Like I said, he's making fun of this 2-year-old kid that just got weaned. So I don't know. Maybe emotionally he's still a kid or something like that. And so let me see. Now Abraham, despite him being displeased about, you know, what Sarah wanting them to go off into the wilderness, he's not pleased about that. But at the same time, he's confident because God has given him this revelation. He gave him this promise. Yeah. So, and not only that, this ain't the first time. See, like, you know, remember we talked about this. Abraham's kind of been groomed for when God asks, when he tells Abraham to go sacrifice Isaac, Abraham's already kind of been groomed for this. This wasn't like something that just came out of blue. It's like, oh wow, God, it's like, you know, that's heavy to lay on me, man. You know, just out of nowhere, take your son up the hill and sacrifice him. This is the second time Abraham has sacrificed a son. Yeah. At this point. First time is like, okay, so Sarah was tripping because Hagar saw herself as better because she can get pregnant and Sarah couldn't. And while Hagar was pregnant, she got sent away, abused, right? She was beaten out of the camp. Okay, so and God brought them back. They should, Hagar and Ishmael, the child she was carrying should have been, they shouldn't have not made it. So, but she was brought back, and Abraham is like, he's recognizing, and then this is again, Abraham is having to sacrifice them again.
Yeah. So,
and God's letting her know, it's like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna make a great nation out of Ishmael. So by the time Isaac comes around and God tells Abraham to sacrifice Isaac, it's like Abraham has been groomed to trust.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's like this didn't come out of the blue. It's saying this was some surprise to him. So when God said this, Abraham said, let's go. We're going to go up the hill and both of us will be right back. Let me see. We're at 15 now. When the water from the skin was finished, she abandoned the child under one of the bushes. Then she went and sat by herself down opposite, about a bow shot away. For she had said, I can't bear to see the child dying. So she sat down opposite and lifted up her voice and wept. Then God heard the boy's voice. And the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven. And he said to her, what troubles you, Hagar? So I just want to stop right there. The thing I'm tripping on is, Ishmael is just, he's acknowledged in the word as just a boy.
Yeah.
I figure, at least 16 years old, he's a strapping young man. I mean, don't get me wrong, y'all. It's the desert, and you could be as fit as a fiddle. It's survival out there ain't gonna be easy. But he's treated like he's like, a 10-year-old kid or something like that. So I just think that's kind of strange, and I'm wondering if that just, I know it can't really, it's not really speaking to his physicality. I'm just wondering if it speaks to his mental and emotional state. You know what I mean?
What are you trying to say, honey?
It's not like, I'm not saying that he was like mentally challenged. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying maybe somehow emotionally or something like that, he was just really childish.
Yeah, just immature.
Yeah, it's just really a really immature teenager because of the way the Bible describes him. And, like I said, it kind of creates a picture that this childish mindset, because that's what we're dealing with right now. It seems like this childish mindset that is saying, no, this land is ours.
Yeah.
And no matter how much you give them, it's like they're not satisfied.
Right, that's true.
And they just have this stubborn, wild donkey attitude.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's really childish. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we get it. Well, yeah, this land's not good enough. We want this land. It's almost like, with a kid when you're saying, look, because the kid wants to play with his sibling's toy, his or her sibling's toy, and it's like, you give him the same toy. And I know I want to play with that. It's the same flipping toy. But they're childish and they don't see through that. And it's like, I wonder if the Bible is just painting a picture there of this mindset that's going to manifest in the future that's been taking place for a long time. That's just like, no, it's mine. And this bullying and this mocking, this just adverse mindset that is shown towards, their sibling. So, I'm just looking at that. I'm just wondering, is there something to that? So now in this case, let's see where we at, 17. Then God heard the boy's voice, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven. Let me see. And said to her, what troubles you, Hagar? God knows. He knows what I'm talking about. Do not be afraid, because God has heard. No, that's another thing I wanted to point out, y'all. And once again, this is another one of those instances where it's an angel. It's like an angel associated with the voice of God. It's one of those things that I'm trying to detect a pattern on. Sometimes it's difficult to do. It's like I'm just like, we've read the Bible enough. It's just a hard thing to lock onto. Because sometimes, it's like, are you hearing the voice of God? Or are you hearing the voice of an angel? It's an angel's job, to receive the truth of God and then convey it. That's the angel's job. So, as angel means messenger from the Greek angelos. Now we have different assignments of angels in the Old Testament. Like you'll hear different assignments of angels, and like in the New Testament, usually when an angel shows up to the scene, an angel sticks to what its name, what its title means. It's an angel. It's a messenger. Its job is to convey the truth. Side note, when people try to get into, the fallen angels that left their first estate because, they were lusting and all that sort of stuff after, it's like, no, you're reading it wrong. Their first estate is their first assignment. Their assignment, their primary, directive is to receive the truth of God and report it. That's their job. Okay? They are angels. Angels means messenger. Agent of truth. That's their job. Okay? When they abandon their post, when they abandon their assignment to convey truth, that's when we have big problems.
Yeah.
Now, let's illustrate that in the natural. Just in case, like, well, I think that seems kind of like, out there. It's like, no. Consider Los Angeles. What does Los Angeles mean? And what does Los Angeles do? Los Angeles means the angels. What is Los Angeles known for? Entertainment. It is the entertainment industry. It is the industry of messaging. And what is the prominent message that comes out of Los Angeles? Falsehood.
Filth.
Okay? That's what they put out there. That's what they promote.
Yeah.
Falsehoods. Fabrications. That's what they do. So with the assignment, the primary assignment of angels, their first estate is to receive truth and report truth. That's their job. Okay? So when they don't do that, we got problems. I just wanted to cover that like really quick. This angel right here, okay, is coming in. What troubles you, Hagar? And he's reporting. Okay? He's going to convey truth to them, and he's the conveyor back and forth, because it's like God straight up doesn't. There's only one instance that I can think of where it's like God doesn't like use an angelic mediator, so to speak. The buffer between man and God, so man doesn't like burst into flames or something like that. And that's when God wrestles with Jacob. Most likely Christ taking human form to wrestle with Jacob. But that's it. But it's not like God sent like an angel to wrestle with Jacob. It was God wrestling with Jacob. So that's the only one I can like kind of really think of. And I know there's other, just probably not remembering right now because, like I said, I'm tired. All right. Anyway, but something to chew on. And even if I'm dead wrong, which I could be, you got we're reading it. That's why we read the truth. Amen. We read the truth first. You're going to hear it verse by verse. Yep. You go chapter by chapter. You're going to hear the truth before you hear me, on the idea. Okay. So let's see where we at. Now, do not be afraid, because God has heard the boy's voice where he is. And I'm wondering, well, what did Ishmael say?
Yeah. I
mean, he got the ear of God. So, so from there, let us not have any sort of, because some people do this. And some people do this, and it's sad, and we got to get this distinction. It's like liberals, even though they try to be all PC and politically correct and tolerant and all that sort of stuff, they're one of the most prejudiced people against Arabs. They just are.
Oh yes.
Because we're, as conservatives, we're saying no. We have issues with Islam. We don't have issues with the Middle Easterns. Not with Arabs, not with Pakistanians, not with whether it be Indonesia, because Muslims all over the place.
Yeah.
You can have Chinese Muslims, you can have Middle Eastern Muslims, you can have they're all over. And we understand that. We understand that it's an ideology. It's not a race. Okay? Now it comes from the Arab people. We recognize that, but we don't expect that all Arabs, subscribe to Islam.
Right.
So it's not like we have like this prejudice against them, but it's liberals who project that on us. We're trying to say, no, we got issues with Islam. Oh, you don't like Arabs and you don't like Middle Easterns. And it's like, no. We never said that. To be a Muslim is not in their DNA. Even though if their fathers are Muslim, they're born a Muslim, it still doesn't mean it's in their DNA.
Yeah.
So, then the reason why I say that, I want to cover that, is because God heard Ishmael. Ishmael, this is the progenitor, progenitor. I always say that wrong.
Progenitor.
Is progenitor? Okay. Of your Arab peoples, and God heard them and said himself that they will be a great nation.
Yeah.
So Islam aside, we had that respect. So because God heard, he heard from Ishmael. So let's, liberals, they believe that whether they're aware of it or not, they're the ones who project this prejudice. It ain't me. I ain't got a problem with Arab folks. I mean, I have a problem with Islam.
Yeah.
I ain't got a problem with Arab people. I ain't got a problem with Middle Easterners.
And as we're about to read, God himself was Ishmael's father.
Right?
Out in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
The stepfather.
Yep.
Godfather.
He's the godfather. Right? Hey. I got an offer that you can't refuse. My little wild donkey of a.
Dumb.
All right. Okay. So let me see. Get up. Now this is once again. It's like God has heard the boy's voice where he is. Get up. It's like even God's like, yeah, he's a boy. Get up, lift the boy up, and hold on. It's like Ishmael sounds like a real mama's boy. It's like, dang, Ishmael is a mama's boy for real.
I believe last night you called him a dependent.
Ishmael sounds like, you know what I imagine Ishmael to look like? I imagine Ishmael to look like that poster kid of who was on, when they were promoting Obamacare and how you could be on it until you're 26 years old,
yeah.
and he's in his footy pajamas, like sipping cocoa and stuff like that. Yeah. That's what I imagine Ishmael to look like. I'm saying that. I'm not saying about all the Arab people. I'm just saying that about Ishmael. It's like, dude, the forefather of the Arab people. I just imagine him.
Pajama boy.
Yeah, it's like he's footy pajama boy with hot chocolate. Arab folks, I love you, man. Come on, I ain't hating on y'all. I'm just having a little fun. But seriously, I'm just talking about the way the Bible describes it, man. He's footy pajama boy with marshmallow cocoa on his mom's healthcare, on his mom's hip, and on her healthcare plan. And he's gonna be there until he's 26 years old. Okay. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the water skin and gave the boy a drink. It's like, dang, come here, Ishmael. Come here, baby. Come here to get some water. That's my little sweetheart. Yes. Oh, look at you. You got some in your beard. Your beard's growing in nicely. Yes, that's good. It's like, oh, Mom, cut it out. Leave me alone. It's like, gee. I'm sorry. Ishmael just sounds really childish, right? He just does. Okay. And gave the boy a drink. God was still with the boy, and he grew. He dwelled in the wilderness and became an archer. Okay, I'm glad he started to man up. It's like, did you hold one end of the bow and have your mom pull the other end? It's like, no, I got back off, Mom. I got this, Mom. Dang, I'm grown now. Shoot,
God says I can do this.
I can do it. God said I could do it. Come on, Mom. God said I could do it. Okay. So God was with the boy and he grew. He dwelled in the wilderness and became an archer. He dwelled in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took a wife for him from the land of Egypt. I wonder how much like Hagar, the daughter-in-law, she picked for Ishmael was. Yeah. It's like, I wonder if that just could just further contributed to Ishmael's issues. It's like, okay, it's like being with my mom. You marry her. It's like, oh, come on, Mom. Jeez.
Did he end up taking multiple wives? I don't remember.
Probably did. It's like, all right, Mom, I'll pick this one. I'll go ahead and take her, but I gotta pick me a few more. At that, I'm just clowning around. I don't remember if it says that or not. We'll find out in a little bit. Let's see. And now it came about It came about at that same time that Abimelech, with Phicol, the commander of his army, said to Abraham, God is with you in all that you do. So now, make a pledge to me here, by God, that you will not violate your word with me, with my descendants, or with my offspring. Okay, I reckon they're having this dialogue here because their last encounter with Abraham, everybody got like some sort of disease or something like that, and the women couldn't have kids because Abraham wasn't exactly straightforward about, his wife, sister wife, and, so just to make sure that, things don't go sideways again, Abimelech says, hey man, can we make a little, a friendly agreement here? So let's see. Now also, this reminds me of something, that I, on a side note, to take issue with. Notice that he's asking Abraham to, let me read how it says again. So now make a pledge to me here by God that you will not violate your word with me or with any descendants or with my offspring. Now, maybe this was before the sanction was set in that, where God says, do not swear by anything in heaven. You know how it goes, that don't swear because you cannot add another day to your life, or you can't make a hair on your head gray or whichever. Just let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. So, like say for instance, like, if you go, to court and they ask you to swear, I don't even know if they do that anymore because I guess it's so politically correct. Right. But at the same time, it might actually be biblically correct to not swear on the Bible because God says, don't swear by anything in heaven. So the word of God is from heaven. So I don't know if you're supposed to swear on it. Huh. Or like when you get sworn into office and you put your hand on the Bible, or it's like when you got the president, they got the ceremony and you're going to put your hand on the Bible. I don't know if biblically, I don't know if you're supposed to do that. You're just simply, your yes is supposed to be your yes and your no is supposed to be your no. You're not supposed to swear by anything in heaven. You're not supposed to swear by anything according to the Bible. Now, if you got, I'm guilty of not having the chapter. I'm just now, because when I be going through, I be thinking of this stuff on the way. It's like we study for it and then we go and read it, and then some of this, reminders like popping in my head. So forgive me if I don't have this, but if you do a search for it, like on DuckDuckGo or something like that, just put in, do not swear by anything in heaven, or put in, let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. And I believe this is a New Testament scripture. Yeah. According to it, we're not supposed to swear on the Bible. If it's saying don't swear by anything in heaven, the word of God is from heaven. So I would assume that swearing on the Bible, you're not supposed to do that. So, whether it's like I said in court or whether, if you're going to take office or something like that and you're going to put your hand on the Bible and swear on it, that's not a biblical practice. The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm looking at here, I got to square this up, somehow. And the only reason why I think maybe this is it's not a contradiction. It may be something that was mentioned before God, put the stipulation on it that says, no, don't do that. It's like incest. The population had to grow. That wasn't what God had in mind. That's why God said, don't eat from that tree, because if you do, you guys are going to have to do things like totally backwards and awkward and weird and detestable. Personally, hey, this is how your population is going to have to grow. It's going to have to grow by means that I don't condone, but you guys are going to set yourself up to that's the only way you're going to be able to do it. So don't eat from that tree. Well, they ate from the tree, and now we got incest. Okay, gross. But the population had to grow, and then at some point God had to put a law. And so, okay, enough of that. Your population is good enough now. There is no reason for you to be eyeballing your sister. Okay, you got selections now. So God, made it it's a law, and it's a detestable practice. So it's maybe the same thing, in here. It's like, okay, God made an allowance for this, for there to be this this peaceable exchange between them. Maybe that dialogue for Abimelech was what was acceptable to him as sincerity. It's like, I want you to swear by your God, and God hadn't put a a stipulation on this yet. So probably in Abraham's eyes, that was okay to do at that time. You know, and it's just like, you know, with unclean animals. There was a time when you're not supposed to eat this. And then later on, God brings down that, you know, that blanket, you know, like a buffet, you know, kill it, eat it, kill it and grill it. Go ahead. No, I can't do that. Man, you go ahead and get you some of that. Don't argue with me, boy. You know, and make me a plate too. You know, so certain standards, you know, it's not inconsistency. It's just, you know, standards that will evolve. Sorry to use that word, but certain things that will evolve into a certain time frame to be conveyed to a new generation, a new culture. But it's still rooted in what is applicable to each time, culture, and sound through history. Yeah. I just got a heads up. We got a comment. What's cracking?
I had asked, is it okay to swear on the Bible? I was wanting to know what some other people thought of our discussion. And flipping 2 a.m. Hello. Says modern culture has taught me that it's okay, but that doesn't mean it is. I never had thought about it before. And yeah, we hadn't really either. It's just kind of something we've looked at recently.
Yeah, indeed. You know, it's and that's why the Bible says, you know, there are things that seem right to a man, but in the end it leads to death.
Yeah.
And you know, we've got people, you know, we've been doing it because of tradition. The Bible doesn't say to do it. You know, and if anything, the language of it kind of speaks against it. It just says let your yes be yes or no. If you're gonna do it, do it. Right. You know, but God's like, don't include me in it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
that's a good way to say it.
It's like, don't implicate me, because you know, if you can't do it, you know, I don't want people to say, well, God didn't help you through it, or you took an oath to do something and you didn't honor your oath. Whether you appealed to God or not, you said that you were going to do something and you swore by God to do it when you had no intentions of doing it. You just did it for show, like a Pharisee.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, look at, I'm holier than thou, and look how sincere I am by putting my hand on the Bible and taking my oath and all that sort of stuff, when you had no intention to do it. You invite people to make a mockery of God.
Ooh, honey, that's good.
So God's got issues with that, but we do it out of tradition because it looks sincere.
Yeah.
It's ceremonial, and it's, you know, and all that sort of stuff. Right? Yeah, exactly. You know, that piety is involved with it. But yeah, you raise a great point. It's like just something that, you know, we've been accustomed, and I'm not really even sure like when it started. Yeah. You know, I just know that it's been around as long as I can remember, and people do it for, you know, just this act of sincerity. And, you know, our intentions and our demonstrations of something that look holy, you know, it doesn't fare well. And it's not like we become a better nation for it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, trying to make this show of, you know, we won't really like read the Bible, but we'll use it, you know, to make ourselves look, you know, more ceremonial or more sincere. It's like, no, you know, God hates that. Jesus says so. He does. Yeah. You know, that we know Jesus says. Like, look, man, y'all out there talking about how holy you are in the streets and stuff like that, and, you know, and want to make sure that people see you as all holy. Jesus like, I got issues with you. Yeah. You know, so I think, you know, the Bible, you know, speaks pretty you know, clearly on that. So okay, and thank you for your comment. I'm glad you're here, buddy.
Listen to AM.
So let's see now where we at. Okay. Abraham said, "I make a pledge." Now, Abraham had rebuked Abimelech because of the well of water that Abimelech's servants had seized.
Okay, so they seized control of one of Abraham's wells?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Looking like that.
Okay.
So Abimelech said, I don't know who did this thing, nor did you tell me, nor did I hear about it until today. It's like, look, man, I don't appreciate you having an attitude with me over something I didn't even know about. It's like, I feel that. I know exactly. It's like, yo, man, I don't, you ain't got to come to me like that. I didn't even know. You know, it's like you barking up the wrong tree, man. Chill out before one of these apples drop on you. You know, it's hard. Like I threw it. No, anyway. Then Abraham took a flock of sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech. So, we can see this diplomacy and work. It's like, look, man, my bad. I'm sorry that you didn't know. It looked just like we had a little bit of contention here, but hey, he's like, I've got enough recourse to be, diplomatic with you. Here, take you some sheep, man. I got some sheep for you, and I got some cattle, and he gave them to Abimelech, and this was, obviously appeasing, and the two of them made a covenant. Abraham set 7 young ewe lambs. Okay, let me back up really quick. Now, I didn't want to overlook Abraham's response to what Abimelech had said. Let me see. So now make a pledge to me here by God that you will not violate your word with me or with my descendants or with my offspring as I have shown loyalty to you. Show the same to me and to the land in which you have lived as an outsider. I needed to go back and read that anyway. Okay? Abraham said, I make a pledge. Now, Abraham rebuked Abimelech because of the well of water that Abimelech's servants had seized. So Abimelech said, I don't know who did this thing, nor did you tell me, nor did I hear about it till today. I know we just read that, but I'm reading again for a reason. Then Abraham took a flock of sheep. Okay. Okay. I don't think Abraham responded by swearing to God. Doesn't look like it.
Oh.
So
what you're saying.
This is what Abimelech asked him. I want you to swear by God. I want you to make a pledge by God. Abraham's response was just, yeah, I make a pledge. He didn't say, I swear by God. Give me something and I'll put my hand on it. He says, no. I'm not going to swear. I'll make a pledge to you. And this is what I'm going to pledge to you. Now he didn't make a pledge by anything. Okay? So it wasn't like, I swear by this, or I swear by on my mother's grave, or I swear by God. And he didn't do any of that. He didn't make some sort of he didn't give like some sort of potential collateral. He didn't do that. Instead, what he did is like, man, I'm not going to, it's like, yeah, I'll make a pledge and I'm going to put it right here, right now. Bam. Here's some sheep. Here's some cattle. I'm not going to swear to you that I'll give them to you. I'm not going to swear by them. I'm just going to straight up give them to you. So it's like, if I don't honor, he's like, if I don't honor what it is that we say, then you'll get this. It's like, no, I'm going to give you this. And on top of that, I'm going to keep my covenant with you.
Wow, that's grace. He's just giving him undeserved, cattle.
So, yeah, he's really backing up saying, look, man, my yes is my yes and my no is my no. Yeah. If I do what I say I'm going to do, that's a bonus for you. It's a win-win situation. You even come out a little bit more on top because you're going to get this cattle, you're going to get these, goats and whatever. You're going to get that. Okay? And if I don't live up to what I say I'm going to do, well, in the future, it's like, hey, remember, when I gave you, it's like, look, man, if I didn't do something, it's not because I didn't have the intention of doing it. It's just because circumstances just caused me to fail. But that up front, I was sincere. Yeah. I was sincere in the covenant that I wanted to make with you. It wasn't like I'm just trying to skimp or jip on you. You know my character up front. Yeah. So that's what Abraham was going by. It's like, I'm going to do what I can do as a human being. And I'm not going to swear by God and try to assume that God is going to grant me, like a genie, give me some superpowers to do something that I may not have been supposed to do. Yeah. May not even supposed to do that. So he's going to do this right here, what he can do, to say that, look, man, these are my intentions and I hope that will suffice. And Abraham, where was I at? Okay. Abraham so we're at 28. Abraham set 7 young ewe lambs apart from the flock of sheep. 7 lambs, a complete and perfect number of lammery. All right. Let me see. Abimelech said to Abraham, what do these 7 ewe lambs that you set by themselves mean? It means a whole bunch of gyros, man. What do you think it means? All right. He said, you are to accept the 7 ewe lambs from my hand so that they may be a witness for me that I dug this well. And so it's like, how much does it mean to you to take that well? Does it mean more to you than having 7 fine ewe lambs? Right? How about these lambs? You don't want that well, do you? He said, you are to accept the 7 ewe lambs from my hand so that they may be a witness for me that I dug this well. Can you dig it? That is why that place is named Beersheba, because that well had beer in it.
Funny.
There, both of them made a pledge, and they made a covenant in Beersheba, and they were drunk. They're like, come here, bro. I love you, man. Hey, you know what? Well, hey, you know what? I love you, man. And you can come and you can get from this well. We should put a tap, a kegger. This ain't even a well, it's a kegger, man. All right. So then Abimelech got up with Phicol, the commander of his army, and they returned to the land of the Philistines. That place where, Goliath says, I'm a Philistine, dude. Then he planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba and called there on the name of Adonai, the everlasting God. He lived as an outsider in the land of the Philistines for many days. All right, that's 21. Wow. Moving right along through Genesis. All right. Anybody contributing to the study? Anybody got any comments?
No.
Questions?
No.
We started a little bit late.
Yeah, we were an hour late, so.
That just must mean that I have been breaking down such awesome stuff that people's like, nope, you broke it all down, Zoe. No comments, no questions here, man. Clear as mud. And it's all good. All right, y'all. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Like I said, I was a little late coming in because, trying to see what we can do with, setting the record straight with this nut. So going ons of what's going on in the culture. So I was out there on the Michael Knowles show with the Daily Wire. And, look for that when it comes out. Look for his show. Keep tabs on his show. Keep supporting the Daily Wire. They got my dudes on there, Andrew Clavin. You got Ben Shapiro. So, make sure you're giving them some love because they are awesome dudes.
Yes, they are.
And with that, y'all have a fantastic rest of your Thursday night. See you guys on Sunday. Have a great weekend. All right. God bless you.